giving you a sheet. On one side is a summary of what's on the White House website, whitehouse.gov. And then you go into issues, and then you go into immigration. It's the 4 points which the President has asked to be included in any legislation that comes up this year. Border security, a method to streamline immigration. That means even people from Europe or other places that come in with technical skills that we want to give visas to, there needs to be a way to get them into this country. Earn citizenship, like the young man who wanted to become a Marine should become, if someone's willing to die for this country, shouldn't they be able to become a citizen for this country, in this country? And finally, a new system, an improved system on making sure that employers hire documented workers, not undocumented workers. It's called E-Verify. It's been around for a long time, but it's a sham. One of the ways that undocumented workers are attracted to the U.S. is those businesses advertise south of the border, saying, come up, there's jobs, lots of jobs. And suddenly those people are working, and sometimes they're exploited, and sometimes they get involved in human trafficking or prostitution. They're certainly not getting the wages they would deserve for doing a fair day's work. That's some of the problems of so-called illegal immigration. So trying to change this, which is one of the President's 3 big priorities, is not something that makes us weaker as a country. On Tuesday of this week, some people may have seen on the news, the Congressional Budget Office came up with numbers. Now, Buck McKeon's 2 big disagreements with immigration are, 1, the borders aren't secure. Obama doubled the number of people, Border Patrol agents from when he started until now. It's now up to about 10,000. They're talking about doubling it again under this new bill from 20,000, which it's at right now, up to 40,000. 40,000 Border Patrol agents using sensors and aerial drones and infrared, and you think it would be an enemy invasion. But that's what it takes to secure the border, and that's what it takes for many people in the Congress to sign on to this bill to stem the tide of illegal immigration and to allow people into the country in a documented, regimented, organized way. The other thing that Buck McKeon says is, I don't want to have amnesty. Those people that are here undocumented, make them go away. It's sort of like what went on in the election last year where they said, have them self-deport. Okay, sure. Okay, that's going to work. People came here for a better life for themselves, their kids. They came here for the work. Some people, even if they were offered the chance at citizenship, might not want to have citizenship. But just to say, go away and then we'll figure out how to handle the problem is just pie-in-the-sky silliness. It's just not a solution at all. So what about amnesty? This bill that the Senate is working on and coming up for a vote in 4 days doesn't provide amnesty. It provides penalties for those people who want to stay in the country. They have to pay back taxes if any are owed. They have to pay fees and penalties. They have to go to the back of the line if they want to become citizens, and they have to wait a long time, 5 or 10 years, depending on the particular status and work history and things like that. It's not amnesty. Amnesty is, oh, you're okay, come on in. That's amnesty. That's not what this bill is. The other thing, which is a really good argument from Buck McKeon, this will cost the U.S. taxpayers a fortune. These people are going to soak up Social Security money. They're going to soak up unemployment. They're going to soak up health care. They're going to soak up all these benefits. Guess what? They already pay, undocumented workers already pay an extraordinary amount in taxes. Maybe not filing income taxes. Let's see if I can find the number for you. It was $50 billion in taxes from 1996 to 2003. Payroll taxes, right? Social Security, which they're never going to be able to collect. and sales taxes, property taxes in some cases. $50 billion. So what the Congressional Budget Office figured out on Tuesday is the direct refutation of what Buck McKeon thinks might happen financially. On the back of the handout, there's a number. Over the next 20 years, if we can pass this immigration reform, we will increase the U.S. Treasury by $1 trillion. That cuts the debt enormously. That's around $15 trillion from what I recall. The argument, that's not net, that's not gross, that's net. So even after you pay any additional benefits to people, because they're working, since they're paying taxes and there's so many people going to work and so many people starting businesses and so many people getting education and so many people coming up with innovations, the country will flourish. I think it says on the back of your sheet that the gross domestic product will go up by 5.4% over the next 20 years or something like that. The arguments against immigration reform are gone. It's not amnesty. It doesn't cost us money. It saves money. And we will have border security so that we don't have floods and floods of people coming in some sort of zombie-like attack that some people like to imagine. Now, I need to talk to you about one other angle of this, which is really important. Racism. When every group has come to this country, they've been, get out of here, go away, you don't speak our language, you'll never be part of us. The Heritage Foundation said about Mexican-American immigrants, they'll be poor, their children will be poor, their grandchildren will be poor. It will cost us $5 trillion. Wrong. We all know people who have come here and flourished. Mexican Americans, people of other origins. The idea that first generation people stay poor isn't even true. They work really hard, their kids go to college, their grandchildren will succeed wildly. Part of the problem that some people have is saying, well, if these people come in, my group might lose jobs to them. They'll work cheaper, or people want to hire them instead of my ethnic group or racial group or whatever. Let me give you one example that refutes that pretty easily. There was a poll done of African Americans that shows support for immigration in favor of 76%, against 9%. This is a group that might be affected by immigration, a lot of people coming in and potentially taking jobs. Every group goes through this transformation from the first time they hit the shores of the U.S., whether they came in, like my relatives, through Ellis Island, or they came in by plane, or they came in across one of the borders. Canada's another border. Canadians come here too. And it only takes a generation or two for them to become successful. I think back to my grandparents and how their kids succeeded wildly. So, one of the things I would ask you to do is think of people you know, think about your families, think about the dream of America, which is come here, work hard, and you'll be rewarded, and you'll succeed. Now, everyone succeeds according to their own capabilities. There's no guarantee written in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence that says you'll become the next Bill Gates or something like that. But you have the opportunity here. One of the things this movie brought home to me is the utter stupidity of an immigration policy that says you want to give something to this country, you want to contribute. No thanks. On the back of the sheet that I gave you, it has Buck McKeon's phone numbers, his Santa Clarita office, his Palmdale office, his Washington, D.C. office. Even if you don't live in his district, I do live in his district, call him. Call each one of those numbers. Don't just call one. Call all three. They won't necessarily even ask what district you live in, but say you favor comprehensive immigration reform, you're satisfied with what the Senate has done as a good compromise, no amnesty, border security, financial security, and growth for the country. He needs to hear from people. The only thing that elected officials respond to is political pressure. If you just go home from here tonight, you might be the most wonderful people in the world. You look like nice people to me. You need to become active. Just this once on this really key issue, we can make a difference, and we can make a difference right now while the Senate's about to vote. Because the House is on the sideline saying, we'll see what the Senate does. If we're active right now, we can push this over the goal line. Then we'll be working separately and targeting people like Buck McKeon directly when the vote comes up in the House, which could take months to happen. I don't think it's going to happen too fast. But we're this close. From all these years, you saw all those presidents trying to work on immigration. Nothing has happened. Finally now, just like with healthcare, finally now, the momentum is there to make this come true. It won't be perfect. Like any other law, we can revise it. We can fix it if there's a problem that comes up. But we need everyone to say, let's get this done. Now's the time. So I want to thank you. I appreciate your time. If you have questions, and Kevin, if you want to come up, and I want to also introduce Jose Perez, who's been active in this immigration fight. Jose, why don't you come up as well? And if there are questions, you can kind of direct them at us. Did Kevin already leave? I think he may have. Oh, he's still here. Come on up, Kev. So, Jose, why don't you introduce yourself?
Nice to meet you, everybody. I wanted to speak to the señora here first, and I'm going to speak in Spanish and I'll translate it into English. Bienvenidos a hoy. Yo soy José Pérez. Trabajé con la campaña de Barack Obama en Iowa. Empecé aquí en Santa Clarita el año pasado, organizando los equipos aquí de gente latina para apoyar al presidente. Y después de eso me mandaron a Iowa porque, aunque uno no sepa, allá en Iowa está creciendo la gente latina en una manera muy impresionante. Ya es lo doble de hace 10 años para atrás. Entonces fui para allá, fui el organizador del campo allá en 3 condados, en Buena Vista, Sac y Ida Counties, y bueno, ya ven, y mis padres son de Michoacán, miren. Yo fui a la universidad, como dice Peter, no venimos aquí a pedir, sino para contribuir. Entonces, yo soy muy orgulloso de eso, y gracias a ustedes por venir a hoy. I want to translate. Last year I started here in the Santa Cruz Valley, helping out with the Latino teams for Organizing for America, President Obama's campaign. And then after a while, we realized, hey, we're going to win California. It's not going to be a problem. I was sent to Iowa as a field organizer. So I was a field organizer in 3 counties, in Sac, Buena Vista, and Ida counties. Fortunately, I contributed a lot because we won Iowa. This is from somebody whose parents came from Michoacán, Mexico. So this is like Peter was saying, right? First generation immigrants, and we contribute. We're not here to ask, but we're here to give. So that's my thing. I'm here. I'm gonna be working real hard on this issue, on all 3 issues, obviously. But yes, right now we're in the stage where we're gonna be working on immigration reform. Look for the congressional recess and the action that we'll be doing in August. And you know what? There's que get out there and fight. Get out there and fight. This is like Peter's saying. Don't just go home and just think about what's going on. Act. The time to think is past. Now is the time to act. So yeah, I'd love to be there for whatever you need. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. So thank you very much for having me, and I'm glad you're all here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for our guests here before we? Yeah. Okay. Let me come over here. Let's do.